Welcome back to another craft camp.
I'm Emily, and today I'm going to be crafting with
Oscar.
And we made these Christmas ornaments out of Sculpey. You ready to learn how?
Yeah.
For our tools and materials today, we will mainly be using
Sculpey X-Acto knives, but you can also use a butter knife.
And once they're baked, we'll be using this big set of craft paint brushes and paint pens.
We also have a paint palette.
And some water. And then to roll out our clay, I have these little wooden dowels. You can use a rolling pin, or you could also use a glass if you have one handy. For shaping our clay, I've got this ball tool. This is the smallest in the set. And I've got these wooden dowels, as well as our needle nose tweezers. And I've got a cookie sheet handy to put our creations on for baking.
Then we'll be sealing with Mod Podge and add a string.
I've gone ahead and printed out our templates, and you can see that we've got 5 designs here: a Christmas tree, a star, a snowman, a cat, and a dog. And we'll be cutting these out with our scissors. So we're going to start by cutting out our templates first, and you can choose whichever one you want to make. We're gonna start with the Christmas tree and the snowman. I think the star would be perfect for younger crafters if you want to get really creative with your paint. So we're just gonna cut right around these edges. And Oscar, if you want some tips for cutting.
Yeah, I'm really bad.
This is something my mom always taught me, which is start with cutting the paper out smaller so that you have a little less paper to deal with.
Okay.
So just cut loosely around your area. Perfect. And then from there, we're just going to, you can start wherever you want, but the trick is to, instead of turning the scissors, we're gonna turn the paper. So the scissors stay relatively stationary, but we're just gonna go right around, turning the paper, following those lines. And it doesn't have to be perfect because trees are all a little different. And the fun thing is we're gonna be doing these in clay, which you can really go crazy changing. So this is just our nice template to get started with. We're using Sculpey today, but you can also use air dry clay if you have it on hand. Whatever you use, I'm just gonna take a little bit of time to warm it up before we start rolling it out.
Okay, should be done.
Perfect.
Do you want me to do it? I know how to wedge it properly.
Okay, here you go. You're gonna get some strong wrists. So you like to do pottery in school, right?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
It's just super fun to make, and it's like less teaching and more just gonna do your work. And you gotta talk a lot, definitely.
But you end up with some pretty cool creations, right?
Yep, that we gotta bring home.
That's awesome. I wish I had had pottery when I was in school. Okay, so once your clay is warmed up, I'm going to use the 2 dowels and put it on either side. And this is gonna prevent me from getting my clay too flat. And from here, we'll just start rolling it out, as long as our things don't fly away. And you can make these ornaments as thick or as thin as you want. The thinner they are, they'll be a little more fragile, so we want to make sure they have some thickness to them. Dang, you got that so fast.
Yeah.
Now we've got our clay rolled out into this nice flat little pancake. We are going to choose our shape and we'll just trace this on to the clay.
I'll do my cat.
Okay. Maybe I'll do Christmas tree. So after pressing your template gently onto your clay, you can take either your X-Acto knife or your butter knife, and then we're just going to gently cut around the edges to create this shape. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect because we can really perfect it afterwards. And don't bother cutting any of the inside lines where I have my details, like in this tree or the cat face. Just leave that out until the end. We're not gonna add those details yet.
I'm done with mine.
Nice. All right, once we've traced around, we can just gently pull the clay up. And if any areas are connected, we can just cut it away. And make sure you hold on to your excess clay because we can use this to make another one. Cute. And from here, we can just go ahead and perfect our little shape and get it how we want. If you have clay tools, you can break those out, but I find that we can use a lot of our tools from around our house. First, I'm just going in and softening these edges so they're not quite so harsh. Are you getting your shape just right?
Yeah.
And I know with Sculpey, you can get your fingers a little damp sometimes and smooth stuff out if you need to. So if you wanted to add any details onto the clay, this would be the time. So if you wanted to do the cat's eyes with divots, you can do that. Or if you want, we can just add that with paint once they're baked. It's your call. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer over my very simple little tree here. Make sure I gently pull it up. I love that.
There.
Perfect. Are they even? The sizes? It looks like
Yeah,
that. That one might be a little bigger. Yeah. That
There.
looks so cute. So now that we've got our little shapes, we're just going to transfer them over to our cookie sheet. I'm just going to take our little dowel, and you can use whatever pointy tool you have if you have needle nose tweezers, and I'm just going to poke a hole where our string is going to go through. And then we're going to set these aside while we make the rest of our shapes. Since Oscar does pottery in school, that's what actually inspired our project today. I've been really wanting to play with Sculpey, and I thought it would be a really great opportunity. Get to make some clay sculptures with an expert. So far so good, looking like cookies. We've got all of our ornaments ready to go in the oven. We're going to follow the instructions on the packet, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. All right, we are back.
We had a little mishap in the oven, so there's little bumps. So we're gonna sand it down with some sandpaper.
Yeah, and that's what happens when your oven gets a little too hot with Sculpey, but no problem. We're just going to smooth them out. And you can do this even if you didn't end up with your oven being too hot. If you want to just perfect any details, a little bit of sandpaper should smooth it out. This is also a great way to smooth out any bumps from your X-Acto knife. If you have any on the edges, you can just kind of smooth it away. You can see the back of my star got pretty burnt, but that's okay. We're just going to cover it up with paint. All right, now we've got all of our pieces nice and sanded. We are pretty much ready to paint. I also went ahead and grabbed some embroidery floss. We're going to use this to string our ornaments, but you can use whatever string you have on hand. Now we get to do the fun part, painting.
I like sculpting better
Yeah.
because I'm bad at painting.
Well, let's play around and see if you
Well,
can.
I'm not that bad, but
Yeah, let's see if you can enjoy it. So for your Christmas tree, what color do you want to start with for a base?
green.
Yeah, like this one?
Yeah.
Or do you want more of like a this one?
Darker.
And we can also mix paint in this, which I'll show you how to do. I'm going to use pink, maybe some yellow, and I'm gonna need brown for my doggy. And your cat's brown too, right?
Yeah, mostly brown. Some like stripes of black.
Like a dark brown?
Yeah, dark.
I don't even know if we have dark brown. We have black. We can mix it. I'll show you how to mix brown. So I've pulled out all these brushes. We're going to save one of these specifically for doing Mod Podge. So I'm going to set that aside. And now we're just going to go ahead and start with a base layer. You want to start with your star or your tree? Why don't we do our stars first? We'll do them.
Star,
Let's
like
do them together.
baby mess, or
Oh yeah,
should we do like
just a baby mess. Whatever you want. I think I'm going to do like a gradient. So for that,
I'm gonna do like Northern Lights.
ooh.
Based.
Yeah, and there's other colors if you want, like green or blue. So we've got our paint. Oop. These paints always need a good shake. And if you want to lighten up any of these colors, we can also add in some white. This is like one of my favorite things.
Maybe getting
So I'll
some
just
blue.
blob it on. Boop.
What?
And then you can kind of mix it in right on your material. Cover up my big burnt spot. My star is so wobbly from being made out of just that extra clay.
Yeah, you made it way too thin. Way.
That's okay. It's got character. I have got my template here ready to look at if I want to follow along with the guidelines that I set for my dog or the cat. Even if your subject is white, I would suggest giving it just a nice little coat of paint just to keep that raw clay protected. And you can use this dog or cat form to make a custom pet portrait of your dog or cat. So I know you said you're gonna make your cat into Hobbs.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna mix some brown for us. You know how to mix brown, right? You just add all the colors together.
Where's the white?
Wait, he's here.
Okay.
Okay, we're getting close to brown. Well, maybe a little more red. I don't know why I don't have any brown paint, but we'll just get creative.
Yeah, that looks like definitely my cat.
That color?
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. Yeah, and I'm gonna wait just a tiny bit before I put on my next layer, letting that one dry. Is your cat all brown?
No, he has like some black stripes.
Cute. Okay, so we'll add those on with a Posca pen maybe?
Yeah. And at the chin, he's like white.
Oh, cute. So I am adding in my doggy ears following the pattern that I made. Okay, I think we need to wait a few minutes for stuff to dry. Hobbs is looking awfully cute over there. I've got my puppy on the way. I wanted to show you this too, something that's pretty cool about acrylics.
It makes it depth.
That I love is you can always
just put it over.
Clean up.
And honestly, like drawing with paint, it is a cool concept. Using a pen, but paint.
I added tears. There you go.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's good.
I've made some little tree swooshies. And if you feel like this is too much paint, you can just use the dry paintbrush and kind of like swipe it off. And then add more white to cover up what you don't like.
I like the grapefruit.
One thing that I'm going to do that can be pretty cute is I'm just going to take a little bit of pink. We can use maybe a nice light pink. Maybe it's even lighter than this. And I'm going to add some blush onto my doggy and to my star. So cute. Good job. Now that we're all done painting, we're going to wait until the paint is completely dry, and then we're going to add a thin layer of Mod Podge just to finish it off and give it a little shine. We've got a thin layer of Mod Podge I'm just going to apply to my ornament. And you can do this on the back and the front. Just make sure that it's dry on one side before you flip it over.
Before we add any Mod Podge to the back, we should write our names and date on it.
I think that's a great idea. Especially when you're giving gifts, it's nice to say who made it and when you made it. Perfect. So we've got our Mod Podge drying, and once they're dry, we're going to go ahead and add a string so we can make these ornaments. Yours are a little wet, so we're just gonna let yours finish drying, but I think my star is almost dry. So I've just cut a little bit of string, and I'll go ahead and get it wet with my mouth like this so that it's nice and pointy, and then we'll put it through the hole. Once we've got it looped, what we're gonna do is take both of them in our hands like this. So fold it over, and then we're going to create a loop. You can just use one finger if your thing's too tight. And then pop your finger out, and we'll put the string tail through the loop. And yeah, once you've got it through, and then we can cut the extra on the top. We've got an ornament. Ta-da! Happy star.
Cookie.
Blue cookie. So cute. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and let these finish drying, and we'll be right back. Thanks for joining us for this craft today. We hope you had as much fun as we did. You can find almost all these tools and materials on our website, feltpaperscissors.com.
Make sure to like and subscribe for more awesome videos.
We make one every month, and we'll see you next time.